gaming companies are caving in to the advocates of social justice. Now, we've seen bits of this happening. It's increasingly so. A lot of people looked at gaming as if it was kind of going to be the last stand when going up against the social justice warriors who insist on ruining virtually every single thing that you guys are involved in. They want to make sure that it belongs to them. They want to control it. They need it to be about them. And I've done several videos kind of documenting in different ways how I believe this messes up the industry for a lot of different people. And you probably heard other people speaking about what I'm about to speak about right now. And that is Assassin's Creed responded to this crackhead ass dude who, I don't know if he blocked me or what. But long story short, was it a description of a particular character, if I'm not mistaken? And the character had been, he got his face burned or something like that, and it was like fueled his rage or something. It was something along that lines. I wish I could show it to you guys live here, but unfortunately, it is I'm blocked. I don't know if there's anybody here that maybe got the screenshot so we can see. I don't think they did. Yeah, no, I don't think they did. Nobody got the screenshot, unfortunately. But that's what it was. And he called it ableism. Now, the goofy looking dude doesn't even look like a guy that games. I'm not going to say that he doesn't game. Maybe he does. But he makes this big thing out of this description as if it's harmful. It wasn't anything that was a big deal. It was a literal description. And he was trying to seemingly get defended on behalf of someone, I guess, that had their face. And you saw that in some of the responses, like, dude, guys that had tweeted me, it's like, dude, I had my face mauled as a dog by a dog when he was younger, and he has these scars on his face that obviously aren't going to ever go away. And he's like, I wasn't offended by any of this description or anything. So as per usual, it seems like this was a guy that was getting offended on someone else's behalf. And he called it ableism or something stupid like that. These guys come up with all sorts of goofball terms that they just create to suggest that, well, because you're saying something or you're doing something, then you are offending a particular party. And almost always it's not the party that's being it's not that individual person, right, that you're supposedly offending. It's someone that has to tell you that you're offending other people. And instead of Assassin's Creed, I don't know, just saying nothing, they could have said absolutely nothing. They could have gone about their business, because the tweet got ratioed to crap. So it wasn't even a shared opinion by a lot of people anyway. But here's how Assassin's Creed responds. Thank you so much for pointing this out. We apologize for unintentionally reinforcing ableism through this language. We will remove this language in an upcoming update. See, companies, people that act like this, if you are an individual and you act like this, you are partially the problem here, because you give in to the demands of deranged lunatics. And that gives them more power. It incentivizes them to do it more often, to become more annoying. This does not stop until people say, no, you're offended on someone else's behalf, or maybe you're offended on your own behalf. Not my problem. That doesn't mean you have to go around being disrespectful to people, but there was nothing offensive about what was generally said. That description, there was nothing wrong with it until there was something wrong with it, because someone said that there was something wrong with it. These people are lunatics. You don't reason with them. You can't reason with them. You don't cave into their demands, but we're seeing much more of this. And I don't know what it's going to take. Gaming companies seem to want to lose money. I think a lot of this stuff really only works in cinema, to be honest. I think cinema you can get in, or if, do you want to call it cinema? Let's say live action depictions, movies, TV shows, whatever. You can get away with a lot of that social justice bullcrap, and in those, right? This is why you can see it in shows, and the CW, right, has a range of successful shows, and it's like Supergirl, for example. Though yes, it just recently got canceled, was like the social justice left in show form. That was essentially what it was. It was a social justice left in show form. Right? Okay, bet. But when it comes to the other mediums, they listen to these guys and it often doesn't work. I mean, even in some movie cases, it doesn't work, Birds of Prey. But certainly it's more successful to try to cater to that group as opposed to somewhere else. Because really, I see this and I'm like, yeah, do I really want to play Assassin's Creed now? Like, funny, I have it because of a bundle, right? And that would have been the only reason that I have it for the Xbox Series X, this Valhalla. But I have no desire to play it. And a lot of people, it's funny, were messaging me like, yeah, man, that did it. I just don't want to deal with that. Like, why would you listen to these types of lunatics? These guys are probably not interested in your game anyway. What they do is they go around trying to make everything about them. That's their tactic. It's about them, right? You cater to them. This is why gaming these days is so obsessed with accessibility. And I'm not talking accessibility in the terms of like handicap or seeing flashing stuff and epilepsy and stuff. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm more so speaking to this idea that every game has to be made for them. Demon Souls, right, has a larger learning curve than a lot of games. Games journalists and other weirdos who probably never played Demon Souls demand that it has an easy mode. Now, thankfully, those guys have said, you know what, go screw yourself. There is going to be no difficulty change. But that's seeming to become more of a rarity, where the company says the game is what it is, and if you want to be offended, fine. Because that's how they generally operate, is that they get offended, and then once you say, you know what, no, they'll shut up. If they don't, they'll just be screaming into the abyss. Let them scream into the abyss. Allow them to scream into the abyss. Who said that these guys had to be catered to? But this is why I said, from even the developmental side of things, SJWs are everywhere. They're everywhere. They're including being involved. That includes being involved in game development. So someone comes by, gets offended, they adjust the game. Why? Does it make the game worse? Is it some stupid, like some, I mean, sure, this is not necessarily a gameplay thing that we're talking about. However, we are discussing something that speaks to more from a cultural thing. And these guys want control. They want you to coddle their feelings, and they will use they're like evil people. They'll use race, they'll use disabilities, they'll use all sorts of things to try to make you do what it is that they want to do. So your language needs to mimic their language. It needs to look the way that they want it to look. It needs to be how they would have it be. It needs to be made by them or about them. And this was the weirdo. Oh, he had his account. Oh, okay. So this was the weirdo that and I, like I say, I don't think any of the ableism thing even applies to him, or the mutilation, the face mutilation. At least according to this, is just a guy in a rainbow with a rainbow mohawk, right? And so, of course, pronouns in the bio, as to be expected. Stop catering to these lunatics. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRubber59 and facebook.com/EricJulyTX. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, be sure to become a member on YouTube or a subscriber on Facebook. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.